Like I got a firsthand kind of glimpse of like how dispendable we are.
Mm,
Uh, yeah, how dispensable we are. My bad, dispensable we are as artists,
yeah,
and it bothered me a lot, like a lot. And then also having like feeling that at that time, and then
word.
also starting to work on music.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, I I said, listen, man. One, if I want to do this music the right way, I have to completely step out. I have to show everybody that I could that I'm serious about music. That's one. And
yeah,
then two, like I just I don't like being at the will or at the beck and call of someone like that. Like I like if I'm
yeah.
jumping into something, I want to make sure that I not even a control thing, but like that there's a respect,
Mm-hmm.
that there's a
I feel that.
respect for production and artistry. Like,
Yeah,
there's a mutual respect. And I think even kind of looking back now, like hindsight, I look back on what happened during 902 and on. I'm like, listen, it's not that they didn't have respect for me. A lot of times shit happens because it's just business.
word.
And they really, a lot of times, my boy Vintage is in here. What's
Vintage
good, my
frames, what
G?
up?
Um, Again, I don't think it's not that they had respect. I think I think they a lot of stuff happened out of their hands, and it
Yeah.
just looked really really bad. But it put a bad taste in my mouth for a long time, and I kind of just I had to back out, man.
But would you say that that moment was like also good for you? Just like knowing like, yo, like I can't depend on, I can't depend on that situation or any situation. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
I think that was
It's an eye opener.
it was an eye opener. Exactly.
Yeah.
It was something that it was. I think as a young black man, especially doing 3, 4, 5 seasons or something, you start to get in a place where you're like, okay, I know I got a
Right.
check coming. I'm
Right.
good, whatever, whatever. But once the kind of rug is pulled from under you,
Yeah.
um, I don't know. It was just weird. Like, again, I was just happy to kind of like, I was happy to leave with everybody on that set, the
Right.
producers, all of that. Those are my people, man. Like I left with really really good friends, like friends for life. I left with a
Dope.
lot of good relationships, and I was like, you know what? I just it's the end of one chapter and it's the beginning of another. Let me see what this music is hitting for. And right after
Mm.
that, New York a Love Story came out, and we were gone.
Damn, bro, that's dope, man. Word. I'm trying to think. Is there anything that you want to transition to? Have you ever thought about transitioning to directing, or are you already
Yeah,
doing that? Have you done that?
I've definitely already been talking about directing and all of that stuff. Um, the last project After Hours, we did a mini series for the show. Like we for the I mean, for the project. So we chose like 6 of the songs out of the 12 songs, and we did like short episodes for each one. All of the episodes kind of intertwined in some way. But yeah, man, I think I caught the bug doing that one thing, and then from then on, I've started writing scripts and like getting ready to like direct my own shit. Like I really really like it, man.
Word. So I
Ti, what's
guess
popping, boy?
what advice would you give a young artist or a young actor? Would you give them the same type of advice, or would you have two different sets of advice for them?
Nah, I would give them both the same advice from a standpoint of just being a creative, right?
Word.
Um, for anybody who's a creative, it doesn't matter whether you do music, whether you act, whether you like whatever you do. Um, I want you have to don't jump into it to be famous. Don't
Mm.
jump into this shit, to don't jump into this shit to get
Clout
bread.
chasing.
Yeah, don't clout chase. Son, I'm
Word.
telling you, this is the creative field is probably some of the hardest work, least pay that you're
Word.
gonna get.
Word.
You always have to. The one thing that's gonna sustain you when the big checks aren't coming in, when niggas ain't calling or checking for you, is why you do this. You have to
Word.
always kind of sit back and remember that you actually love it. Because if you jump into it and you don't love it, as soon as things start to slow up, you
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm out.
Word.
But the one thing that I would advice that I would give to anybody that's in a creative field is understand that if you love it, you're not doing it for a check. The checks are good. You should
Word.
always make sure that you get what you should always make sure that you get what you're worth and then add interest. You should always understand the power of negotiation because it's not really what you're worth. It's actually what you can then negotiate.
Word.
Um, so just but remember the reason why you're doing this. Remember that you love it. You know, they call it a music business, and a lot of people get caught up in the business part. But remember that you love music,
That's real.
that you love acting, that you love art, like whatever it
Yeah.
is that you're creating. Remember that you love that. The business shit will figure itself out.
Something I wanted to ask you. I know me being like an entrepreneur. I've
Hmm.
always been an entrepreneur. Worked for myself. Do you have like speak, I guess, about structure? Because like I try to structure my schedule, have a routine every day. I know you. I know you hit the gym super hard recently.
Yeah,
You know what
man.
I'm saying? Transformed on niggas. Do you have like do you have like a routine or like a daily structure that you do every day?
uh, because especially in our field,
Mm-hmm.
things are so like last minute. Everything is always last minute. It's a
Right.
we if you're a creative, you live and work in a hurry up and wait environment. You know, they
Mm-hmm.
rush you to sit down and wait all the time.
Right.
So I would you have to find the things that you need to sustain yourself. Like for me, one of the main things was going to the gym. So I always try to make sure, like if I look at instead of looking at it as a day thing, I look at it at my week. I'm like, all right, cool. In this week, I have to make sure I get into the gym four
Right.
times. Okay,
Right.
so where can I fit this in? Some days, of course, you can't fit it in, but you have to remember, okay, if I didn't get it today, I gotta go. I have three more times I have to go this week, or like, okay, I didn't go. It's Friday and I did three times. I got to make sure either I go Saturday or Sunday. Which day am I going to go? Like you have to really figure it out along the way. But you have to make sure that you put some type of routine in. Now with quarantine, you know, me and Christina have been kind of flip flopping on like who's taking who wakes up early for the baby to go to
Right.
school. So okay, I'll wake up Monday, I'll do school with the baby. You wake up Tuesday, do school with the
Word.
baby. We go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, so that we're switching off. Still make sure that you still get a chance to work out. Figure
Right.
out who's cooking that day. You know, you have to figure out what you need. I think once you figure out the necessities, uh, uh, your everything else will make sense. You could start to fit everything else into your days.
Word. That structure is everything, man. Honestly, you
Hmm.
know what I mean. So I want to ask you a funny question. You know, Redskins are going through a name change right
Oh
now.
man, yeah,
So I heard them. I saw an article about them throw out the Washington Red Tails.
I seen that too. I seen that too.
I think that'd be dope. You know what
I
I'm
actually
saying?
think that'll be fire. I don't think they're gonna do it, but I
I
think
don't
it'll
think
be
so either.
fire. I think
But
it's
I
gonna
know
be.
you. So that movie I thought was super dope, and you were in
Thank
Red
you.
Tails. You want to speak on that a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, man. Yo, Red Tails was probably after Secret Life. Yeah, after Secret Life of Bees. I think that was kind of like I was like, okay, let me try to act or let me see what's up. And the funniest
Right.
thing is, right, the film that you guys seen was like a cut up version of the film that we actually did.
Right.
When we first did the film,